Welcome to Pinay Power Tactics. Listen up because your retirement fund is currently in the crosshairs of a 22-year-old with a sweet smile and a family of 12 waiting in the province. If you think the most expensive part of your trip to Manila is that United Airlines flight, you're already broke and just don't know it yet. I'm stripping away the Maria Clara fantasy today to show you the cold, hard receipts of the barangay payroll. Pay attention because your wallet is already bleeding out. You're likely 50, maybe 60, fresh off a messy divorce or just tired of the cold silence in your suburban home back in the States. You came to the Philippines looking for a queen, someone to treat you like the king you never were at home, but you're walking into a minefield with a blindfold on. Time and money are your only real assets, and right now, you're throwing them into a black hole. You aren't just dating a girl, you're underwriting a multi generational debt plan. Dating in the Philippines is like playing high stakes poker against a table that's been rigged for generations, and you're the only Kano who didn't get the memo. Every I miss you text is a bet, every dinner in Cebu is a raise, and that sick water buffalo story? That's the ultimate bluff designed to drain your stack before you even see the flop. If you don't treat your capital like reserve ammunition in hostile territory, you won't be the provider, you'll be a disposable ATM. I've seen men like you land at NAIA with stars in their eyes and leave with nothing but a maxed out credit card and a bitter taste in their mouths. The risk isn't just emotional, it's a total financial collapse that sends you back to LAX as a long range pauper. You've been warned. Errors here don't just hurt your feelings, they liquidate your brokerage account. I'm here to give you the strategic blueprint, the war manual you need to survive this beautiful, dangerous jungle. As a Pinay who has seen both sides of the curtain, I'm giving you the tactical edge that no travel vlog will ever mention. We're going through a 5-step strategic audit that will separate the true partners from the professional extractors who see your passport as a winning lottery ticket. Forget the gentle lady stereotype for a second and look at the logistics. It's cold, it's calculated, and it's you against the world. Here is the manual of war, numbered and ready for execution. We are going to dismantle the sick water buffalo protocol, expose the runway landing fee, and audit the matriarchal board of directors before they vote to seize your assets. This isn't a guide for the weak or the overly sentimental who want to be saved by a provincial girl's hug. You need to decide right now if you're a captain or just a passenger on a plane that's already on fire at 30,000 feet. Tell me the truth, Ethan. Do you want love, sex, or survival? First, let's talk about the sick water buffalo protocol, the oldest ambush in the jungle. You're in a Makati bar feeling like a god when she gets a frantic text. Lola is in the ICU or the family cow just died. Boom. Your provider ego kicks in and you're zelling $1,500 before the San Miguel gets warm. Wake up, Kuya. That buffalo has died 6 times this year for 6 different foreigners. You're not a hero, you're just the latest insurance policy for a barangay that thinks you're made of gold. Then comes the runway landing fee, where the lifestyle inflation starts burning your jet fuel faster than you can climb. She doesn't just want a meal in Cebu, she needs the 5-star resort background for her TikTok to flex on her cousins. This is lifestyle creep, a slow-motion flanking maneuver designed to test your ceiling. If you start at the penthouse, you'll be bankrupt by the time you hit the province. Remember, every luxury you provide today becomes a non-negotiable line item in next month's budget. Stop being so damn mayabang. Now, let's audit the matriarchal board of directors because you aren't dating a girl. You're entering a joint venture with her nane and the eldest ate. Behind every sweet I love you is a group chat where your net worth is being dissected like a lab rat. They are the silent shareholders deciding if your dividends are high enough to keep you as CEO. If her mother starts asking about your pension, you're not a boyfriend anymore. You're a fiscal quarter target. They see your flanks wide open. Look at Dave from LA. He thought he was helping his girl start a small shop in Davao. He sent $5,000 to her mother to secure the lease without checking the map. 6 months later, the shop was a ghost, the money was a new karaoke machine for the uncle, and Dave was a joke in the family GC. He was outmaneuvered by a woman who's never seen a balance sheet but knows exactly how to liquidate a lonely Kano. What a Sayang move. Don't be another cautionary tale. You think these small tactical retreats are expensive? You're still playing in the shallow end of the minefield, Ethan. These first three errors are just the entry fees to the real game. If you can't handle a fake hospital bill or a greedy mother, you're going to get absolutely slaughtered when we talk about the big ticket items. We're moving from losing pocket change to losing your entire identity and legal standing in this country. Trust me, the next error on this list doesn't just destroy your wallet, it annihilates your reputation. You're back in the States, feeling like a big time investor because you sent 5,000 for a sari store in the province. Wake up, Joe. That's the remote wallet fallacy, and the taximeter is running while you're asleep in Ohio. You think you're building a future, but you're just financing a new karaoke machine for her cousins. Without eyes on the ground, your investment is just a donation to the local Tanduay fund. If you can't audit it, it's not a business, it's a ransom payment. Let's talk about that hollow feeling in your chest that makes you easy prey. She knows you're starving for validation, so she feeds you a scripted drama of jealousy and tampo, just to see how much you'll pay to keep the peace. Are you the captain of this ship, or are you just a passenger in a rigged taxi being taken the long way around? Every time you fold to her emotional blackmail, you're handing over the wheel. Real authority doesn't beg for affection, it dictates the terms. You need a strategic exit clause, a black box fund that she never sees. I'm talking about a clean credit card and your passport locked in a safe she can't touch. If things go south in Angeles City, you don't want to be the LRP begging for a flight home on Facebook. This is your emergency parachute for when the engines fail at 30,000 feet. Paranoia is just another word for being prepared. Never let your heart trap your body in a country that isn't yours. Stop being a hero for 5 minutes and run a consistency test. If you stop the extra remittances today, does her I love you suddenly get shorter? If the answer is yes, you're not a boyfriend. You're a subscription service. You must set hard investment limits before your provider ego liquidates your 401k. A captain knows when to cut the anchor to save the vessel. If you keep pouring fuel into a leaking tank, you deserve the crash that's coming. Are you listening or just dreaming? We've covered the small leaks, but now the water is reaching the deck. You've played the provider, you've been the hero, but you're still ignoring the massive iceberg dead ahead. I've seen men lose $50,000 in a single afternoon because they thought a title deed meant security in a land they can't legally own. You're playing a game where the rules are written in a language you don't speak. Pay attention, because the game changes forever the moment you finally stop negotiating with hope. Enough with the diagnosis, Ethan. You've seen the wreckage on the tarmac, and now it's time to stop being a spectator and start being the pilot. We're at the midpoint of this flight, and if you don't have a rigid flight plan, you're just waiting for the engines to stall over the Pacific. From this second forward, I am your commanding officer, not your tour guide. Put down the San Miguel and pick up a pen. We are moving from why you're losing to how you win right now. Stay sharp, Kuya. Understood? First, we apply the binary filter to every request that hits your WhatsApp. Is this a survival need or a status want? There is no middle ground in the jungle. If she asks for medicine, you demand a receipt from Mercury Drug before a single peso moves. If she asks for a new iPhone to stay connected, that's a status play, and the answer is a hard no. You're clearing the runway of all the trash and noise. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. Keep your eyes on the sensor data at all times, Ethan. Precision counts. Next is the consistency test, your psychological radar. You're going to intentionally skip one minor expected payment this week just to see the reaction. Does she go silent or does she stay sweet? If her mood is pinned to your bank balance, you found a parasite, not a partner. A real queen respects the captain's treasury. A gold digger only respects the ATM's availability. This isn't being mean, it's a structural integrity check of the relationship hull before we hit high altitude pressure. Don't flinch when she tries to guilt trip you. Hold the line, stay firm, and watch. Now we set the hard ceiling on your capital exposure. You are a business, Joe, and your 401k is the restricted reserve. She never ever gets to know the total size of your stack back in the States. Tell her you're on a fixed pension or a tight budget from your strict accountant. Create a fictional authority that limits your spending so you aren't the bad guy, the system is. This protects your ego and your assets simultaneously. If she can't fly coach with you, she doesn't deserve the first class future you're building in your dreams, Ethan. Remember, we've checked the flaps, audited the fuel, and the checklist is almost green. You're finally acting like a man with a mission instead of a lost tourist looking for a handout of affection. But don't get cocky yet, because the most dangerous part of the operation is still ahead. I've shown you the framework, but now we have to execute it in the heat of the field where the emotions run high. Grab your gear and lock in your focus. Next, we're going to talk about the $50,000 land scam that kills every single expat dream. Ready? Imagine the table is tilted and 5 balls are coming at you at once. She's crying about a cousin's tuition, withholding the girlfriend experience because you're suddenly cold, and her nane is blowing up your WhatsApp about a new Grab business. This is the ultimate ping pong match, Ethan. If you react without a solid stance, you lose the point before your paddle even touches the ball. You're being flanked by emotion and logistics simultaneously. Do you fold and pay the peace tax, or hold your ground like a commander? The silence in your Makati condo is deafening when she stops the sweet talking and I love you texts. This is the siege of the soul, a tactical withdrawal designed to make you feel like a lonely man again. She knows your biggest fear isn't losing 5 grand, it's losing the warmth of a young woman's smile. But remember the binary filter. Is she a partner or a subscription? If you pay for the smile today, the price doubles tomorrow. Don't let your thirst for validation drown your entire financial legacy, Kuya. Now she's throwing a major tantrum because her best friend's Kano just bought a condo in BGC and she's looking like a pauper on Facebook. This is status warfare, a direct hit to your pride. She's weaponizing shame to bypass your hard ceiling. If you give in to buy her that designer bag just to save face, you've surrendered your fiscal sovereignty. A king doesn't care about the gossip of the barangay. Stay focused on the flight plan. Every peso spent on vanity is fuel stolen from your emergency escape. Watch what happens when you finally say no and actually mean it. The first wave is anger, the second is tears, but the third? That's respect. By refusing to be a disposable ATM, you're forcing her to decide if she wants the man or the money. If she walks, you just saved yourself a $50,000 land scam and a decade of misery. That's a massive win, Joe. You're finally playing the game instead of being the game. The table is level now because you stopped chasing the ball like a dog. Here is the final law of the jungle. He who is most willing to walk away holds all the power. If you can't look her in the eye and say pack your bags when the audit fails, you're already a prisoner of war. You've survived the small skirmishes, but the big one, the one that leaves men sleeping on the streets of Angeles City with nothing but a plastic bag, is staring you down. Pay attention, because the next step is the difference between a golden retirement and a total absolute wipeout. Look at you now, Ethan. You walked into this jungle as a wide-eyed tourist, but you're leaving as a tactical operator who knows the difference between a partnership and a payroll. The myth of the low-cost paradise is dead, buried under the receipts of the sick water buffalo and the matriarchal board's greed. You've learned that your heart is a target and your wallet is the prize. Never forget, in the Philippines, if you aren't the one holding the ledger, you're the one being audited. Stay focused. Think of the bee and the flower, Joe. A bee doesn't beg a flower for nectar. He arrives when he's ready, takes what he needs, and provides the value of pollination only because he's a king of his own hive. You've been acting like a thirsty insect drowning in a puddle of cheap San Miguel. From this second forward, your access to the nectar is a consequence of your strength, not your desperation. If she can't respect the captain's treasury, she doesn't get to smell the roses of your future. The final law is simple. Your financial survival is the foundation of your romantic success. If you liquidate your 401k for a girl in Angeles City, you aren't a hero, you're a casualty of war. I command you to audit your remittances within the next 24 hours. Cut the fat, kill the fake emergencies, and lock your passport in that secret safe. Being a provider is a privilege you grant, not a debt you owe to a barangay. Take the helm of your life before the storm hits. If this manual saved your stack, hit that like button and subscribe to Pinay Power Tactics right now. Drop a salamat in the comments if you're done being a disposable ATM and support the mission via the Super Thanks or PayPal link below. Don't let the girl be the only one getting your dollars. Your support keeps the radar spinning and the truth coming. Stay sharp, stay funded, and remember, if the honey is free, you're probably the one being stung. See you in the field, Kuya.